Boom shakalaka, what is going on everybody? Randall here from Crypto Love. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the age-old question, a very important question that a lot of people have been asking and a lot of people want to know the answer to. How much Bitcoin should you own to be rich, to be financially independent, to be a fucking baller, to do whatever you want, to have sick yacht parties and scantily clad girls and just tossing dollars and stuff like that? How much money, how much Bitcoin do you need to be able to do that stuff? And so I put together this whole video with a lot of mathematical calculations because I love science and I love real numbers and stuff like that to give you actual answers so you can know exactly how much Bitcoin you actually need to have in order to be a fucking baller. And furthermore, it makes me a little bit nervous because there's a lot to cover in this video and I want to make sure I cover it all without messing up too badly. So it makes me a little bit nervous. But I'm not editing, I'm not cutting, because that's how we do shit on this channel, okay? First time through, and that is it. So, we're going to get into things in a moment. First thing, thank you to everyone subscribing. Thank you to everyone nuking the shit out of the like button. Thank you to everyone commenting on the videos. Also, guys, if you have cryptocurrency, why not hold it in the Monarch wallet where you can earn up to 7.6% yearly interest on your Bitcoin while you hold it there? Kind of makes sense. But let's get into things. How did I get into Bitcoin? Well, beginning of 2017, my buddy over here, Sasha Daygame, he was talking to me about Bitcoin, and I had seen a whole bunch of Bitcoin shit before that, like Bitcoin ATMs. There was one I went to every single day, and this was back when Bitcoin was like $100 or less. Well, anyways, beginning of 2017, Sasha says, dude, you need to do this. If you have one Bitcoin, you will be set for life. And gosh, the sound of that was really appealing to me. I said, hell, I'll buy a Bitcoin because I want to be set for the rest of my life. Well, you know, I didn't buy the Bitcoin first. First, what I did was I did more research. So obviously, any of you who've gotten into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, you know it's like a black hole. As soon as you start learning, you just learn so much more. And this is a great book that I got. Probably one of the best resources out there for learning about how awesome Bitcoin is the Internet of Money. You see, because Bitcoin's going to do for money what the internet did for communication. Have you seen people? They're all freaking zombies nowadays because they just walk around like this because they have a little communication device right there. That's what the internet did. Imagine what Bitcoin's going to do for money. Even more than that. And so once I found out what the heck Bitcoin was and how awesome it is and how it's going to be absolutely monumental and change the whole world, well then I went over to Coinbase and I set up an account and I started dollar cost averaging Bitcoin because that's the best way to buy an asset of an unknown value. You buy a fixed dollar amount on a regular basis. I have videos about that. You can search all that if you want. If you don't already have Bitcoin, if you don't already have cryptocurrencies, sign up for Coinbase because guess what? When you sign up, you get 10 bucks for free and I get 10 bucks for free. Or you could sign up for Abra and you get 25 bucks for signing up and I get 25 bucks. Or if you're really smart, you could sign up for both of them, get 35 bucks of free Bitcoin. And I'm going to go into that in the end of the episode to show you actually how monumental that is. Now, with talking about Bitcoin being the technology that it is, being this crazy, awesome thing, there's this law called Metcalfe's Law. It states the value of a telecommunications network is proportional to the square of the number of connected users of the system. Well, guess what? How many people use Bitcoin right now in 2019? If you read through this article, it tells you 25 million. But what just happened? Zuckbucks? Hello? Yeah, Facebook just is doing this Libra thing, and guess what? They have like 1.9 billion monthly active users. That's what it is. 1.9 billion monthly active users. That's a lot of people that are going to be exposed to Bitcoin. And guess what? I mean, it says here, this article here, Facebook's Libra probably won't help people without bank accounts because that's one of the things they're talking about doing. Apparently, a lot of the countries where people are unbanked, there's 6 main countries right here: Bangladesh, China, India, Indonesia, Mexico, Nigeria, and Pakistan. Well, guess what? Most of those don't allow Facebook. So, whatever. But the 1.9 or 1.7 billion monthly active users that Facebook already has, guess what? They're going to be exposed to Libra. And guess what? Then they're going to be like, oh, this cryptocurrency stuff works. And then they're going to be like, oh, Bitcoin. I want some Bitcoin. And guess what? You don't even have to buy a whole entire Bitcoin. Bitcoin is divisible into 100 million Satoshis. small little pieces. That means you can buy even a teeny little bit, and that's pretty crazy because here's what we're getting at. Right now, the size of Bitcoin's network according to Metcalfe's law, 6.25 times 10 to the 14th. Well, when Facebook is added, 2.89 times 10 to the 18th. That's 4 magnitudes of order bigger. That's like comparing $10,000 to a dollar. Would you prefer to have a dollar or $10,000? I can tell you which one I would like. $10,000 every day and twice on Sunday, because Sundays I like to spend a lot of money. But anyways, so, I mean, that's going to blow things up, but that's not it. You know, McAfee, he's pretty famous for saying that Bitcoin is going to be worth $1 million by 2021 or he will eat his dick on television. Well, guess what? He just tweeted this the other day because we just had a little bit of a bull run. He says, you think this is explosive growth? Laugh my fucking ass off. He says, just wait. His only real talent is math, and it is mathematical certainty that the growth you are seeing is a yawn compared to what's coming. That's right. Yawn. Compared to what's coming. And I'm going to tell you why. You see, well, one thing is, there's more millionaires than Bitcoin. That's right. There's like 35 million millionaires in the world. And how many Bitcoin? 21 million. But not really. You see, there's 21 million that are created between the beginning, 2009, 2010, and 2140 when Bitcoins are stopped being mined. But over 4 million are already lost. So that means there's really only like 17 million. How about that? Pretty crazy. So that means that if every millionaire wanted to have a Bitcoin, they couldn't. As a matter of fact, every millionaire could only have about half of a Bitcoin. That means if you have a Bitcoin right now, you're like 2 millionaires already. Freaking crazy. But there's more. You see, there's a lot of Bitcoin being mined. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's doing proof of work to help verify the whole system, and basically it creates Bitcoins. But guess what? You know, there's a certain amount of Bitcoin that are being mined every single day, and now large institutions are buying it. Cash App is buying 10% of all the Bitcoin mined right now for their users. Grayscale is buying 21% for all their investors. That's just these two large institutions buying 31% of Bitcoin. But guess what comes up May 2020? Bitcoin halvening. That means that instead of 31%, they're going to be buying 62% of all the Bitcoin created. You think that creates scarcity? I think so. You see, Bitcoin is something that we've never had before. Never in the face of Earth, ever. It's a deflationary currency. Only one ever. What that means is eventually there's no more inflation. It means that there's 21 million, and that's it. You see, I tried to find if there's other deflationary currencies, but did a Google search, and everything that comes up is Bitcoin. And you see, because we've never had a truly deflationary currency, we have no idea what's going to happen when the shit hits the fan. But, you know, being the smart, good-looking guy that I am, I have a very good analogy. Something similar to a deflationary currency. It's Black fucking Friday, when people go absolutely mad to get one of these ultra high def TVs for like $100. It is so insane. If you guys have never done it, I mean, if you haven't been to a Black Friday store, you got to go and do it. I mean, if you don't live in the United States, make a vacation out of it. Come here for Thanksgiving, and then Black Friday, you have to see this because it looks like this at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. People camp out the night before to get this shit. What do you think is going to happen when people realize there's only 21 million Bitcoin and they're running out? I'll tell you, it's this. And furthermore, it's actually dangerous. Like, shit gets real. There's been 12 deaths associated with Black Friday. There's been 117 injuries. It's crazy. So that brings me to where Bitcoin's price is going. Well, I've been referencing this a lot because this guy traveled through freaking time. I mean, granted, maybe he's not a time traveler, but what if he is? Well, he says, he wrote this 5 years ago, okay? And it's been correct. It's been correct up till now. So what would make us think that it would change at this point? You see, he says, From $0.1 in 2010, $1 in 2011, $10 in 2012, $100 in 2013, and then it slows down a little bit as the value increases by a factor of 10 every 2 years to $1,000 in 2020, or to $1,000 in 2015, $10,000 in 2017, $100,000 in 2019, and $1 million in 2021. From here onwards, there's no good way of expressing its value in dollars as the dollar is no longer used. Well, that made me, talking about Bitcoin Endgame. There was this video that was pretty popular, $10 million Bitcoin Endgame. I made a video copying it, didn't do as well, but I think $20 million is definitely reasonable. As a matter of fact, that's kind of short-sighted because this chart here, I'll probably have to move my head over so you can actually see this chart. This chart is supposing, let's take this time traveler's projections on another 2 iterations, another 2 orders of magnitude. And let's say, perhaps, per instance, that instead of every 2 years, now it's every 4 years. It slows down every more. So that means that Bitcoin will be worth $10 million in 2025 and $100 million in 2029. I mean, he says from here onwards, there's no good way of expressing his dollars as dollars no longer used. Yeah, people are using Satoshis. Duh. But let's just say if we do that, then this is what would happen. You have this crazy graph, and look at this. I mean, this stuff gets absolutely crazy. Look at how big and spiky that is. And just to give you an idea, we're right here. We're like on the ground freaking floor. It is about to take off over the next few years because guess what? People are learning about it. A lot of people have heard of Bitcoin. They may not know what it is. They don't understand it, but they've heard of it. And guess what happens when they understand it? Has anyone ever actually learned about Bitcoin and what it is and not invested in it? I have yet to meet them. Well, aside from Warren Buffett. But that's another story. Okay? So that brings me to the question, how many Bitcoin should you own to be rich and have financial freedom and all that fun stuff? And that's why I made this video, because I wanted to answer that question for you. And in order to answer that question, you need a few things. Number 1, you need the value of Bitcoin. Number 2, you need to figure out what the heck it means to be rich and have financial freedom. So I did some research on the interwebs, and it turns out that, if you want to be rich, if you want to have a life-changing amount of money, according to most Americans, that's only $19,800. Pretty paltry, in my opinion. Very paltry. Not life-changing for me. That would make for like a good couple months, but I mean, come on. Furthermore, we go on. This article, how much money do you have to earn to be considered rich in the biggest city in every state? All right. So, if you want to be considered rich, rich is defined by some Americans as having an average of $2.4 million. Okay. Now, in each state, you have between Detroit of 50,000 and if you scroll all the way down, Alaska of 160,000 that you would need, which is twice the median household income. So you split that in the middle. You have $105,000 to be rich per year. And then you have the real one. This is a study done by a couple smart dudes from the Millionaire Next Door. It turns out that the typical millionaire, if you want to be a millionaire, the typical millionaire has an average household net worth of $3.7 million. Now that's the average because there's a lot of ultra high net worth individuals. And it should be said that these ultra high net worth individuals really could only own with all of their money, could only own about 100 Bitcoin. So, not that rich. But it turns out that the median millionaire household has a net worth of 1.6 million. So, not that high. So, that brought me to doing some freaking math. Now, I made this chart, and I'm going to go through it, okay? So, basically, on the left here, this is how much a Bitcoin is actually worth. 100,000, a million, 10 million, 100 million. On the top, we have life-changing money. We have what it is to be rich in these cities. We have what it is to be a millionaire based on the $3.7 million average millionaire net worth from the Millionaire Next Door, and what it takes for something that I like to look at. I've met a good number of rich people, and one of the smarter ones told me, if you can figure out what to do to make $10,000 a month, you can pretty much do whatever the hell you want, wherever you want, and just have fun. So that right there on the end, that's my goal in terms of what to be at, where to be. So we will take a look at this. Now, life-changing money, $19,800, not much. You know, if Bitcoin's 100,000, you need 0.19 Bitcoin. If it's a million, 0.01 Bitcoin. 10 million, 0.001. 100 million, 0.0001. Okay, so that's that. Not much. Life-changing money. But nobody, I honestly don't think any of you are watching this because you want that life-changing money, because that's a crock of shit. You want to be rich. You want to be a millionaire. You want to have sick yacht parties and scantily clad girls, if they're clad at all, dancing on the boat and everything like that. Well, you want to be rich. So if Bitcoin's 100,000, you need 1.05 Bitcoin. If it's a million, 0.1 Bitcoin. 10 million, 0.01 Bitcoin. 100 million, 0.001 Bitcoin. All right, not very much Bitcoin to be rich. Now that's per year. That's per year, obviously. But really, not that rich. Because if you're rich, you're living a baller lifestyle, you're probably not going to live that long. You're going to be like James Dean and shit and just have a great life for a few years and then you're done. So, you know, you figure this times 3 years and you're set. Furthermore, millionaire status. Okay? This is where most of you, I would think, want to be. This is where I want to be. This is where you want to be. $3.7 million. So if Bitcoin's $100,000, you need 37. If it's $1 million, 3.7 Bitcoin. If it's, notice that, it is only 3.7 Bitcoin. Okay? If you want 10 million, if Bitcoin's $10 million, you would need 0.37 Bitcoin. Now, I made this one blue because I want you to actually think of this. Remember how I said there's pretty much twice as many millionaires in the world as there are Bitcoin? So that means that each millionaire could only have half a Bitcoin. Well, what number is like half a Bitcoin? How about 0.37? It's only 0.13 away from half a Bitcoin. That would make Bitcoin worth $10 million, which is all the more reason for Bitcoin to be worth $10 million. Furthermore, if Bitcoin's worth $100 million, then you would only need 0.03 Bitcoin to be a millionaire. How about that? A lot less than you thought. So somewhere between 0.37 and 0.3 to be a millionaire. But those are all like static ideas of wealth. And when people get this type of wealth, they do crazy shit and then they lose it all. So really you want some type of sustainable wealth that'll give you the money to be able to do whatever the heck you want to do, which is this last column right here, $10,000 a month, which is $120,000 a year. And you can make that much on interest by using something like the Monarch wallet because of their partnership with Celsius Network. Yes, that's right. You could get 7.6% interest just holding your Bitcoin in there securely. So if you were to do that and make the 7.6% interest from holding your Bitcoin in, say, the Monarch wallet, gosh, I don't know where that one came from, you would need $1.6 million roughly to get $10,000 a month just in interest. Okay? So if Bitcoin's $100,000, you need 16 Bitcoin. Really not that much. If Bitcoin's $1 million, you need 1.6 Bitcoin. Still, not that much. If Bitcoin's $10 million, which I think is very likely, probably by 2025 I would say, you would need 0.16 Bitcoin. Not that much at all. Furthermore, if Bitcoin's 100 million and if we're all going to be super sick ballers, you better invite me to your out party, you would only need 0.016 Bitcoin. So much less than you would actually think. So much less. Now, if you guys remember at the beginning how I told you to go sign up for Coinbase and for Abra, and if you haven't, there's a link down in the description. Go use that link. Sign up, please. But if you haven't, then check it out. If you sign up just for Coinbase, you would get 0.00085 Bitcoin just for signing up. If you sign up for Abra, you get 0.00212 Bitcoin just for signing up, totally free. Guess what? If you sign up for both Coinbase and Abra, you will get 0.00297 Bitcoin. A freaking badass amount of Bitcoin. I mean, if we take a look, if Bitcoin's $100 million, guess what? You're already rich just by signing up. Now, here's the better part. I made this video a couple days ago. I'll put a link down in the description about making $800 of crypto in less than 10 minutes. Now, granted, it was a clickbait title. It's $79 a Bitcoin. But, you know, it's not foreseeable it's worth $800 in the future, you know? So anyways, if you sign up for Coinbase and you do what it says in that video, you would get 0.00885 Bitcoin. However, here's the kicker. If you sign up for Coinbase and Abra and do what it says in that video, you get 0.01 Bitcoin. Check it. You would be significantly wealthy. You would be able to have $10,000 a month just in interest from just signing up for Coinbase and Abra and doing what it says in that video. That's freaking nuts. You would be rich automatically. You wouldn't have to do anything else. You would just be rich right freaking there. So, if you haven't signed up, now's your freaking chance. So, lastly, just a reminder, guys, there's not that many Bitcoin. There's only 0.0023 for every person on the planet, and these retards can't do math because there's 4 million Bitcoin that are lost, so really there's only 13.7 million out of the 7.5 billion people on the planet, so it's actually 0.0018 Bitcoin per person. That's it. That's it. That's all that there is. That's it. So guys, this quote here from Forbes, not owning any Bitcoin is still the biggest financial risk any of us can take during our lifetime. Yeah, pretty true. I mean, when my buddy Sasha told me about Bitcoin, Bitcoin was like, I don't know, somewhere right around $1,000. And I was like, you're telling me I could risk $1,000, which granted, I could lose it all. Could lose it all. Could go to zero. Could lose it somehow. Whatever. I could risk $1,000 or for the chance to be financially free. Yep. Check. I'll do that. And you know what? I still don't regret that because that's been an amazing decision so far. And I even think right now, this is my personal opinion, obviously not financial advice, I still think risking $11,500 for a chance to be a millionaire, more than a millionaire, for a chance to be 2 millionaires. Because if you own a Bitcoin, you're basically better than 2 millionaires. So, and that's like worth like $7 million based on the 3.7 average net worth. But yeah, basically risking $11,500 for the chance of 7 million. Yeah, I'd fucking do that every single day. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, share this video with friends and family, comment on the video. Let me know what you think. Am I crazy, or does this stuff actually make sense to you? And lastly, check out the Monarch wallet. You actually earn interest. You earn Bitcoin for free. Who the fuck doesn't want free Bitcoin? They have their IEO going on right now on LA Token. You can join a token sale there. And lastly, thanks again. Subscribe, like the video, become part of the family, and you can see my ugly mug every fucking day. Love you guys. Catch ya. Peace.